understanding, GU, but relatively useless, RU. But of course the name Guru is also in my name. And but it wasn't always so. Until the age of 3, my name was actually Ashok Kumar. But my grandmother suspected that my mother had given me that name because she thought my mother was secretly in love with the Bollywood actor Ashok Kumar. So that was not appropriate for her grandson. So she took me to her guru and she placed me at his feet. And she told the guru, Guruji enu na deo. And of course he saw me there and he was quite amused. And he says, well, let's call him Gurcharan Das. And so overnight I was transformed from the Prince of Happiness, Ashok Kumar, to the humble servant of the feet of the Guru. I think the Guru also knew something more and felt that this boy needed to be reminded every day about the virtues of humility. And in my long career in business, if there's one lesson I've learned, it is that the best managers, the best CEOs I have met had 2 qualities. They had determination, fierce determination, and they had humility. Notice I don't mention intelligence, which is an overrated virtue for business people. We have, these people, the CEOs, are ambitious, but their ambition is for their companies, I find. And not necessarily for, they're not looking at the next stock option or whatever they're going to get. We've had the good fortune of having a Prime Minister in our country in the last, well now 6 years almost. This is going to be the 6th year. And who has shown enormous humility. And we love him for that. We wish though he would have shown more determination. Only once really during the Indo-US nuclear deal did he show this sort of determination. And one hopes that in this next, in the remaining part of his rule, we will see that determination. Anyway, all this is by the way. I've come to talk to you about my new book, which really began soon after my previous book, India Unbound, was published, which India Unbound predicted the rise of economic rise of India. It was the first book of that kind. And if I was that kind of person, I would say I told you so. And frankly, I did not imagine, even when I was writing it, that we would become the 2nd fastest growing economy in the world. And we would be that for a sustained period of time. And even now I believe that once this, the global recession is over, India will be back on that 8% route. And in fact, I believe that in the first quarter of the 21st century, or at least towards the end of the first quarter of the 21st century, we will turn into a middle-class nation. Now, some states will be behind others. Bihar, Orissa, basically, if you draw the line from Kanpur to Chennai, the problem states are on the east of that side. But even they will catch up. Anyway, so no matter whether our Prime Minister is Manmohan Singh or Mayawati or Vajpayee or whoever, but frankly, this dynamic will happen. Prosperity will spread in India, is spreading in India. However, happiness is not. And for that to happen, we have to fix governance. So we have this amazing sight of a country that's turning prosperous amidst the most appalling delivery of the most basic services to its citizens. Things that people take for granted in countries both to the west of us and to the east of us. And when I talk about governance, I'm not thinking about a minister who's caught with a bribe. I'm thinking of our everyday interaction. And especially the interaction of the poor. The fact that 1 out of 4 school teachers does not show up in a government primary school. The fact that 1 out of 4 who shows up is not teaching. So out of 2 million government primary school teachers, 1 million are not doing their work. 2 out of 5 doctors are absent in a primary health center across the country. 20% of the earnings of a rickshaw driver are taken away by the 20% of the earnings of a rickshaw driver are taken away by the police. Same way with the rediwala. All of us Indians, once in our lifetime, have to change title to our property when our parents die. It is almost impossible anywhere in India to get that title changed without paying a bribe to a patwari or a talaki or wherever you are, the revenue official is. And I could go on and on, but you know what I mean. Every single interaction with the state is morally fraught with risk. Even if I think about it, I realize that, my God, I've got to get my driver's license renewed. And the first thought in my mind is, will I have to pay a bribe to do that? So I felt that India Unbound had given us only half the story of a rising India. And I also felt that in this, in the area of governance, there was an area of moral failure, which was really eating into the fabric of our society. Now, moral failures are, and that's why I've come to believe today that more important than economic reforms, we have to do police reform, judicial reform, administrative reform, and political reform. We have to reform the state. And if we do that, then the level of dharma, the moral level in the society will rise. And this is what did happen. Countries we admire, like the Scandinavian countries, even the UK, they were terribly corrupt societies. But then they did those reforms, beginning with Gladstone, Disraeli, even Margaret Thatcher, who brought a lot of accountability into the British civil service. So, and it was after that. So it's not from reading the Mahabharata that you're going to get the rise of dharma in society. You're going to have to do it by doing these things. But then how does Mahabharata fit into all this? Why did I go and decide to read the Mahabharata? Well, one, the Mahabharata is unique in the world, because it's one of the few real texts that engages with the world of politics. And certainly as far as classic Indian texts are concerned, it is one text that is not concerned with the other world. It's concerned with this world.